Nur ad-Din Zinki, so one of the leaders of the Muslims during the Crusades, he had a dream. In his dream, the Prophet ﷺ came to him and he said, "Anqidhni min hadan," save me from these two people. And then he showed him two blonde people in his dream. So he got up, he made wudu, he prayed at night, he fell back asleep, saw the exact same dream. Prophet ﷺ comes to him and says, "Save me from these two people." These two, and he sees them exactly. Two blonde men, knows exactly what they look like. He consults someone and the person says, "What are you waiting for? Go to Medina right now." He gets on his ride and he goes to Medina. And he arrives in Medina. The governor tells people Nur ad-Din Zinki is coming to visit in Medina and he's bringing gifts for everyone, so everybody gather to come to the gathering. So they gathered, and this is the majority of the inhabitants of the city, gave everyone gifts. Says, "Did anyone not show up to receive gifts?" They said, "Yes. There are two people who didn't show up." Now he's interested in them. Says, "Who are these two people?" They said, "There are two people who are very generous. They recently moved to the city from Al-Maghrib, yani the western part of the empire. And they're very generous. They visit Al-Baqi' every single day. They're always giving." And so he says, "Okay, I want to meet those two people." He sees them and they're the exact two people from the dream. The exact same people. Okay. So he starts to ask them, "What's your story?" "Well, we just came from Al-Maghrib and we want to live near the Hujrah, the room of the Prophet ﷺ." And he goes into their home. And everyone thinks they're righteous because they show signs of righteousness and generosity, and they're very wealthy. So there's nothing in the room except like a mat, right? Like a straw mat, shukran. He moves it and there's a tunnel. And they're right next to the Hujrah. Their house is right next to the Hujrah. They've been tunneling underground to steal the body of the Prophet ﷺ. And that's why he kept coming to him in the dream saying, "Save me from these two." So, and the people from Al-Maghrib back then, they used to have these huge leather pouches. So nobody thought of them as suspicious. They would put the sand from the digging in these pouches and then go dump it in Al-Baqi'. That's why they're visiting Al-Baqi' every day. They're dumping the sand from the digging, the excavation. And they actually got very close to entering and got near to the basically to the grave of the Prophet ﷺ. That night when they got close, there was like thunder, striking in the city. And that's the same night that Nur ad-Din arrived. And so he beat them. He had them beaten until they admit. They said, "We were Christians." Because remember, this is Crusades time. So we're Christians that were sent by the Christians of Al-Maghrib. And we were basically to steal the body of the Prophet ﷺ. And he basically had them executed. But then Nur ad-Din began to cry a lot. He cried so much. Why? Because the Prophet ﷺ chose him from all the people in the Ummah. And there were other leaders and Salatin and governors. But he chose him. He said, "Save me and help me protect me from these two people." And that's why he cried so much, because what an honor. The Prophet ﷺ chose him. And so that was one of those incidents.